All right, everybody, welcome in. This is the last run/race of the night. I promised you all we'd be going into every single randomizer of Super Metroid. And that we are. This is the Super Metroid Dash Randomizer. MM2 NES cartridge versus Derp versus DJ Webb versus Zeb. Your commentators are Glove and Sloters. Take it away.
All right, yeah, as WX Fan said, this is the Super Metroid Dash race. I am Glove, and I'm joined by Sloters on commentary. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Glove?
I'm quite good. I'm pretty excited to see this. We have 4 extremely talented runners here. All 4 of them had quite solid showings in the playoff of our recent Dash tournament. We are, I believe, so Derp and MM2, or Derp made it to the semifinals. Everyone else had an exit a little bit earlier on, but all 4 of them are talented runners, and, four of the best you can find at this specific mode. Which, Sloters, do you want to tell us a little bit about what Dash is in the context of these settings?
Yeah, so if you've been watching the tournament for SG Live lately, this is going to be pretty similar, with one minor tweak. We're going to have a major minor item set, meaning the items are in 2 basic pools, major items composing of all the normal major upgrades for Samus, including E-tanks and 3 reserve tanks. And then there's also the minor item pool, which contains all of the ammo items like missiles, super missiles, and power bombs. We also have area rando mode, where the map is divided into 11 different areas, and the doors going in between those areas are all randomized. And last, we have the small tweak, the shuffled setting, or boss shuffle setting, where all the boss locations are shuffled amongst each other. So we'll get some surprises as we go into the boss areas, which is a little bit different from Shifted, which is what we're doing in the tournament, which mainly changes what those bosses open up upon killing them. But we can talk about that some more as we get to the bosses.
Absolutely. And we do see bombs showing up early on. It's been a bit of a meme in the tournament that bombs are always at BT. But they're going to be showing up a little bit earlier here. And what that also means, as we see that we have a double missile start, is that power bombs could be buried pretty deep. Our bombs open up the vast majority of the map by themselves. So there are a lot of different locations where power bombs can be, where if you don't have a way to break walls, normally you're going to run into power bombs pretty quickly.
Yeah, DJ unfortunately having some trouble getting the D-boost up to the bombs. So actually had to reload the room after doing the backup, but does get the Rio boost first try on the second try. So he'll be a little bit behind the other runners, but that's no big deal.
Yeah, it is one of those frustrating tricks where if you don't get it within the first 2 tries, you either have to reset the room or go for some really funky setups. And you can just really get in your head about it. And we do find a 3rd missile pack there at Old Mother Brain, so still no supers or power bombs.
Yeah, I would expect the runners to be, pretty thorough with the checks in the beginning until you get that first super missile and power bomb pack. There's potential to leave items or just information behind if you don't have those. So usually you want to prioritize getting those first and foremost. So we'll see checks like this at the 230 missiles. And
absolutely.
We got more missiles. Jeez, that's kind of crazy.
Wonderful. Yeah. So in my opinion, if you are coming from, map rando has become quite popular in the past couple years. If you are coming from the map rando side of things, in my opinion, the main appeal of this more traditional rando style really is that ammo hunt. It's pretty uncommon in these seeds or I wouldn't say pretty, but fairly uncommon in these seats for you to not find charge. And so then so much of this game can come down to which minor item checks you are prioritizing, which I think can make for some pretty interesting play patterns. And we do see the one dash specific item. This is double jump. If you've ever played Metroid Prime, it essentially works the same way that space jump does there. Does what it says on the tin. It gives you one space jump. So it is a useful item to pick up, and it is still a movement item, but, you know, definitely a lower tier of movement item. It can give you access to places, and in some areas it can help with your movement, but not the most exciting thing to find.
Yeah, unfortunately, as a consequence of finding the bombs earlier, the BT fight is pretty much forced unless you do some like task level strats. So yeah, we're gonna see BT fights from everyone. There is the option to skip that, knowing that like you would have to do the fight, but I don't think most people would really do that. It's a free major item. Can't
Absolutely.
be a suit based on the logic. There can't be any suits in criteria, but still could be something valuable in this case. Something kind of valuable, but not too big.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of valuable, though, our runners do find the Ice Beam there at Terminator. Ice Beam gives us logical access to Bot's Wound. It also gives our runners an item to do Zeb Skip at the end of the game, like severely diminishing the amount of ammo that they need to see, as well as making terrain much faster in general.
Yeah,
as we do see the front of Lone Warfare and the front of a wrecked ship.
Yeah, so kind of the front of two of our four boss areas. Front of wrecked ship is nice. The front of Lower Norfair is not as nice. Obviously can't really do Lower Norfair right now without Various Suit or really any good resources to get through.
Yeah.
But we might see a boss check here at wrecked ship. That's usually a bit more common.
Yeah, with these settings, if you've been watching the tournament, finding wreck ship and checking it is pretty automatic. It's not quite as valuable here because you can only actually do wreck ship if Fantoon is here with these settings, because the bosses still unlock the area that they come from. So Fantoon unlocks wreck ship no matter where he is. Kraid unlocks his closet no matter where he is. And Dragon unlocks Plasma no matter where she is. So,
Yep,
but we
we're
do
already
see
seeing
three
some
of our runners
divergence. Yeah.
still going for those checks. Meanwhile, MM2 is going to go and check the one portal on the right side of Criteria. Without power bombs, he can't check the other, unfortunately. But we will see where it leads him.
Shoutouts to the Kirby ship.
Mm-hmm. I do think it is by far the best custom ship. And Spooky Missile has another super pack. The second super pack isn't that huge of a big deal, but a pretty significant number to see is 30 supers, because that will be enough to take out Ridley with just super missiles, which is important if you are, say, doing the fight without any heat protection. And it is Dragon, so MM2 is going to have, at least on paper, a lot of time gained over the other three runners. As he finds Green Bryn. This is the best portal you can find in the early game, bar none. Green Bryn has a ton of items.
Yeah, dense with both major items and minor items. I would expect we would find some power bombs, although if we don't find them right away, there is some potential the runners may leave some items behind that are locked behind power bombs, but hopefully we don't run into that.
Yeah, early supers alone has 4 power bomb checks. I believe it was missiles underneath the bridge. I didn't quite catch it.
Yeah, I didn't look either.
Now, the main items that we are going to be looking for that that allow you to beat the game are the Varia suit and the gravity suit. Especially with already having ice, essentially everything else is optional. And depending on how many tanks we get, even Varia suit can be optional, and if we end up in a really terrible situation, even Gravity Suit can be optional. So there is no one item aside from Morph Ball that you need to beat the game, which is one of the things that I think is really cool about Super Metroid Rando specifically. Is we don't have, you look at something like Link to the Past Rando, and it's a lot of keys behind doors, or like finding a different key to unlock a different door, whereas Super Metroid is a lot more like trying to grab whatever you can to land this crashing plane.
Yeah, there's a lot of flexible sets, flexible loadouts you can use to beat the game depending on the map layout, the area layout, and where the bosses are at and stuff. So it is really cool trying to kind of diagnose these seeds and figure out the fastest course of action with like the weirdest set of items you can get to finish the game.
Absolutely. Now there is one convenient check MM2 has here for power bombs. After that, he could technically check Spore Spawn Supers having bombs, but he won't have to worry about making that decision as he finds power bombs there at the charge missile. It'll be interesting to see if he decides to go back for Edakuns.
I feel like you do. It's not that far. I mean, majors are good. I would expect all the runners to, but we'll see. Who knows? Maybe DJ feeling a little behind.
If I may, we got a donation in $10 from Tharkus, who says, "One of my favorite game franchises for such a worthy cause." And hey, my mom kept calling Samus Metroid. She's finally unintentionally right. Thank you, Tharkus, for the donation. Folks, ! Donate. Let's see if we can get to £500 for Safe in Our World tonight. Again, an amazing organization that is a mental health charity specifically devoted to the video games industry and communities of gamers. Ladies, take it away.
All right, yeah, so we did see MM2 not going back for that Edakuns. And one of the possibilities there is if neither of these Green Bryn portals are good, you can grab Edakuns and then go back up the Green Bryn elevator to check the moat portal that's otherwise going to be completely isolated. One of the big ideas within Super Metroid Rando is we don't like leaving individual portals behind, especially when we haven't seen Kraid or Turian, which are both single portal locations that we need to find to beat the game. However, MM2 is definitely going to follow this Red Tower. Red Tower, in the same way that Green Bryn is chock full of items, Red Tower is chock full of portals, and portal information is kind of the most valuable resource in this game.
Yep, MM2 finding the back of Lower Norfair, which is the side we would prefer to come through. Let's again check the tube portal here. Yeah, there's 2 major items in Red Tower, and with that space jump they found, it'll also be easy to check X-ray. And where was that Kraid that tube just went to?
Yeah, that was Kraid. MM2's gonna leave it behind. If you have been watching the Dash tournament, as mentioned before, checking boss locations is significantly less valuable in these settings. Where in the tournament, if you see Kraid, you do Kraid. Here, that's not as strongly the case, especially when it's somewhere that's pretty convenient to come back to, like Red Tower. And MM2 knows that he has to come back to this specific portal already, because, as you said, that is the portal of LN that we want to follow. So MM2 is essentially the only real gamble here is if the boss is Kraid, or if the boss is specifically Kraid, then he is hurt by not getting those 2 major item checks. Anything else, it's pretty bad to check Kraid there. Or if like the answer is, or if Fantoon is there and then the answer is Wreck Ship, that could also be a possibility. That could hurt leaving Kraid behind.
Derp going back to check the Edakun items, only getting a spacer, did manage to snag another powerbomb pack down there too, which is not insignificant at this stage, but probably not a big deal since we already have bombs. So, nothing too interesting yet.
Mm-hmm. It is worth noting, Spazer isn't entirely insignificant. It is a pretty big damage increase for your beam if we do find charge. As of right now, compared to just ice, it has doubled the runner's damage output. But again, as mentioned earlier, we're not necessarily expecting to find charge, so it's definitely not an item that you're happy going back for.
Oh yeah, something cool to note about dash is it actually shows you the damage of like a charge beam shot of your current beam on like the upper right part of the screen where the map normally is. So that's some good information to know if you don't have that stuff memorized.
Absolutely. And speaking of cool dash changes, we saw MM2 just take a save there that is not in the vanilla game. There are a couple saves peppered throughout Super Metroid that the Dash developers have added in order to make checking one ways a little bit less scary. Like here, for example, MM2 found Croc at a portal that, with ice, he's not necessarily soft locked out of, but it's going to be really annoying for him to come back from this Croc if there's nothing here. So it's much nicer to just have that save to come back to. And if he didn't have that ice, then this would have been a complete soft lock. Those high jump boots.
That's going to help a lot.
Yeah. They make getting out of here way easier with ice. And aside from speed, they're also just the best movement item in the game.
Yeah, I'm assuming high jump and ice is a logical way out of this situation. I think ice by itself probably isn't, but either way, he would have been able to do it for sure with his skill set.
I believe you are correct. And if you are in the chat, one of the really nice things about Dash is that you can go to the Dash website and it has all of the logic for getting from anywhere to anywhere listed out very easily for you to read. Kind of interesting there. MM2 isn't checking that one minor item check in Croc on the way down. I guess it's like strictly optimal to check it on your way out because you could just find charge beam here. Although I'd probably still check it if I found charge beam, only having that ice. But it is spring ball, which high jump and spring ball alone, funnily enough, are also a way to make it out of the crab hole, that room that MM2 is going to be going back into. Although the double spring ball jump is not logical, and it's a bit slower than some of the ice strats. But it's a nice backup to have. As meanwhile, Derp is fighting Fantoon, who is in Kraid's lair. So this could be significant for MM2 in that if Kraid is here, and Zeb as well, I believe, skipped it. And so if Rex ship ends up being something relevant, then that could be a big deal for MM2 and Zeb having skipped out on this boss.
Very nice kill by Derp.
Mm-hmm.
No sweat.
Yeah, his second round was good enough to 2-round it, but he had a little bit of trouble in the first round. We also see Zeb there, picking up that X-ray scope that MM2 also has. In basically every situation, it's not really a relevant item, but if our runners find charge and plasma, it allows for a very easy boss kill that we can mention if it comes up. And yeah, we see there, even though Derp killed the boss at Kraid's lair, that boss was not Kraid, and so Kraid's closet is not open. And that leads to situations that I think are what is so incredible about this setting compared to what's used in the tournament, is you just end up with significantly more checks that are really annoying to come back to. Kraid's closet really sucks. Coming back to Wreck Ship can really suck in some cases, meaning that it's significantly more likely that something like a suitless Meridia will come to play, or a Variolus Lower Norfair. DJ needs to be a little bit careful here. He's in a better spot now, but he can still only take one hit. Now he can take a second. And he can... yeah. Alright. He makes it out of the Phantoon fight safely. As MM2 has a really nice red tower climb there, using Ice to freeze the Ripper and immediately shooting upward to continue onward.
And MM2 gonna check the famous Kip miners down here. So far, just a missile pack, but we'll also get some new portal information soon with the two up here at the top of Red Brinstar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Kip Miners location is kind of funny. It has fallen in and out of vogue over the years, dating all the way back to before Area Rando was even a thing in Super Metroid, or at least before it was run in tournaments. Something that runners have realized over time is that checking miner items is really good, actually. And MM2 finds Turian.
Yeah, that's a good find. Knowing where that is in your back pocket, and that being one of the few one-way portals, that's a good one to know early on.
Mm-hmm. The fact that it is also right next to LN and Kraid means that it should be a pretty quick trip at the end of the game, except for specifically this scenario where we need to go back and kill Phantoon in order to progress.
So MM2 coming back down to Green Bryn.
He's checking Edecoons here.
Oh, that's right. He didn't go back for that. That's right.
Wait, was... oh, was it Moat Portal at the top of Red Bryn?
Yeah, the Red Bryn elevator went to Moat.
So this is kind of interesting here. Really, the only good option for MM2 is going down to the meme route portal.
Yeah, unless, he wants to take his chances on one of the two boss areas he has access to so far, but I would bet he's probably gonna, commit to skipping those for now and probably go down to meme route.
Yeah. Technically, he also has the option of going from Redfish Room to that top right West Meridia portal, the crab shaft. That would require a double spring ball jump, and it would be probably even slower than checking the meme route portal, which is already pretty miserable.
Yeah, as cool as that is, and I would love to see that, it's just really slow, so I wouldn't expect most people to do that.
I don't think it's unreasonable here to check Wreck Ship, and Wreck Ship also has a portal, which cannot lead to... we have found Turian, Kraid, and Croc, which are all of the areas that only have one portal, so it's not going to be any of those.
Yeah, I guess
still be the last
case,
West Meridia portal. But
I guess worst case, it could be back of East and even then you could like really go through it if you really wanted to, but
Ugh, yeah.
yeah, we actually haven't seen Upper Norfair yet, so there's a pretty decent chance one of those is going to go there, which is a nice area to be in, assuming you have energy and or Varia.
Yeah, which, shockingly, MM2 still only has 3 E-Tanks, despite the number of checks he's made. All of our runners do, in fact. It can be a little bit... Like that's the scary part of finding items like Spazer and Spring Ball that you're kind of whatever about, is generally you think of the worst case scenario being, oh no, I find an E-Tank, but actually the worst case scenario is often I find X-Ray or I find Spring Ball or something that doesn't really help you out and also doesn't progress you towards being able to do an easier Upper Norfair. MM2 also doesn't have a Crystal Flash. So, Upper Norfair, this is the good side of it. Business Center isn't as bad for hell runs. And we have the front of East Meridia.
Cool.
So there's a decent chance that MM2 finds... Yep. There's a decent chance MM2 finds, say, even just 2 E-Tanks here. Upper Norfair looks a lot better. And that's pretty likely at this point, having so many E-Tanks left among the locations.
Yeah, you could certainly do it all on 3 E-Tanks, but it's not very fun to do that.
I didn't see there whether Zeb died or had to reset. Well, I think that must have been a death. Right? Or, oh, was that checking the West Meridia portal? I think he might have noped out of Croc there, which is a little bit of a rough decision knowing there's high jump. And we see DJ makes that same decision, so MM2 and Derp are going to have high jump boots that DJ and Zeb might never find. Especially if Suitless Meridia is the answer, that can be really devastating. But I totally understand leaving Croc behind or doing it in that scenario. Like, especially knowing that your means of escape is terrible. So that is a reserve tank. That still helps MM2, but really not what he wanted to find. An E-Tank there would have refilled his health, which would have made for a much easier ice check. You need 1 E-Tank to be able to check ice, but 2 E-Tanks makes it much more comfortable.
I did get a 3rd power bomb pack, so there is Crystal Flash potential.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it kind of sucks not getting the instant refill and having to manually fill a reserve tank. But you'll take at least 1. It can be... The first reserve tank is really nice for the Ridley fight if you're doing it without Varia, so probably not going to complain too much about getting at least 1.
Apparently MM2 already did ice and got screwed. Like, did he die before finding the item?
No, Kai decided that he wanted to be funny because it was Screw Attack and Ice Beam. Question in Twitch chat, though, for both you, Glove and Sloters. What is SM Dash?
Yeah, so as Sloters mentioned at the beginning of this race, Dash Rando is a variant on the more traditional style of Super Metroid Rando. So the items have been split into 2 pools, which is the ammo pool that has missiles, supers, and power bombs, and then the major pool, which has energy tanks, reserve tanks, and all of the named items. And within those 2 pools, they have been shuffled amongst themselves. Also, the map has been split up into 11 distinct areas, and the connectors between all of those areas have been shuffled around. So, for example, here, one of the Upper Norfair portals connected to East Meridia, where MM2 is now. As we also saw DJ there almost mess up Gauntlet and only be able to get one side of the items on the left side. However, he was able to jump out in time. That was very nice. And the bosses in Dash are shuffled as well. So you could find, for example, in this seed, Fantoon is in Kraid's lair. However, Fantoon still unlocks Wrecked Ship, even though he is not at Wrecked Ship. And MM2 is in a lot of trouble here. He can't really take a hit.
Yeah, this is kind of sketchy. He was okay then with where Patron's health was at. Wasn't going to get any more spit attacks, but...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, MM2 doing the bold, suitless East Meridia play, which I feel like I never get to do that often. I hope it pays off. And it, well, we'll see when he gets to the boss, I guess.
Yeah, he does have all the items he needs to do it, and he can make it out guaranteed no matter what boss is there. Based on our knowledge, it's a 50-50 that it's Ridley.
Yeah, that wouldn't be great. It's kind of crazy though. Say for Grapple Beam, he kind of got like all the really good suitless items like pretty quickly. So at least it's relatively smooth going through here, if not a bit slow.
Now, I didn't quite catch, but I don't believe MM2 checked that left sandpit item, which you can get with this loadout, but it's not fun.
Really wish gravity could be there. That would be more fun, but
right?
I'm a boomer and live in the 2017 rando times.
Yeah, I was gonna say total rando it can be there.
Ooh, Zeb finding the speed booster at the Wreck Ship E-Tank, and DJ will very shortly grab that as well. That's a pretty nice find in Wreck Ship.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is Kraid here, so MM2 is able to kill the boss. We'll see if it pays off at all. He just gets 2 E-Tanks out of the suitless Meridia play, which, like, yeah, that's gonna make his Bubble Mountain faster, but it's not gonna make it 1 suitless Meridia faster, so unfortunately doesn't really work out for him. I guess on the plus side, he never has to come back here. So that's nice.
And MM2 flexing the underwater wall jumps here. Okay.
And does an underwater wall jump from the left side just for good measure.
This is spring ball disrespect, and I don't approve of it.
I mean, it is straight up faster if you can get it first try.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And meanwhile, Derp is locked in an intense boss battle there. Takes down Dragon. And with that spring ball, he doesn't have to worry about getting a flash suit or anything. Doesn't have the power bombs to do it regardless. But he will be able to just double spring ball jump out of here. And for his troubles, he is rewarded with never having to come back here and a grapple beam. So there's the last suitless Meridia item. Meanwhile, Zeb is actually checking the top of Wreck Ship. Having Speed Booster, he can now get both of these items. And presumably DJ will be following suit. You're not going to come up here just for minor item checks. Although, it's worth noting that everyone except MM2 is capable of fighting Ridley now, even though they don't have that Varia suit. With 5 tanks plus 30 supers, you can do it, although it's a little bit sketch. A reserve would make it so much better.
Yeah, we do have Ridley in Lower Norfair, though, which, you know, makes a suitless fight a lot scarier now. Ideally, if you're gonna do like a suitless lower Norfair, you want Ridley to not be at home, so it's one less long suitless room to do. So it could still be on the table, but runners will definitely be a little bit more incentivized to hunt out various suit once they figure that out.
Yeah, we do
Yeah,
see a
MM2.
reserve tank.
MM2 conveniently right back at Upper Norfair, so we'll make those Bubble Mountain checks a lot more comfy.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, without that speed booster from Wreck Ship, he does have to take the slower way to get to Bubble Mountain. Although with Space Jump and Screw, it's hardly slower. And he is comfy cozy enough, he can even check the minor item here.
That's kind of crazy
And,
how
Zeb?
short he is on supers compared to the rest.
Mm-hmm. DJ and Zeb now have a pretty strong mark in their favor as they found Varia at the top of Wreck Ship. There's a pretty good chance MM2 and Derp never find it.
Yeah, I believe as MM2 has said before, top of Wreck Ship isn't real, so in this case it is very real and technically required, but you know, they may not get it anyways.
Yeah, and back of Wrecked Ship does lead to the Upper Norfair Croc portal. So only one more shot at a self-connect here. That would be if Chronic Boost and Single Chamber connect to each other, and then top right of West Meridia connects to the back of East Meridia. If you are someone who is into that kind of thing. And MM2 probably could have made it out there, but decides to be much safer and just Crystal Flashes. I absolutely respect that decision. I think it is the way to do it. And if he wants, he can even use this to check the Wave Beam item first. Very nice speedball there from Zeb. Yeah, as chat points out, unfortunately, the checks that MM2 has made really have not paid out in terms of supers. There's another pack, though. And now, if you are doing Variolus, ideally you would really like to have at least 40 supers. That would allow you to do one Crystal Flash before Ridley and then still do a 30 super Ridley fight. Although, certainly depending on the rest of his loadout, he could get by on less.
Comms, may I have a moment of your time?
Absolutely.
We just got a pretty big donation in from Anonymous. £50 from Anonymous. It says, "This is very nice of you, WX and Speed Gaming," with a smiley face. Anonymous, thank you. We appreciate you. We're now up to $463 raised here for Safe in Our World. And let's see if we can break that $500 pound mark tonight. This currency thing is messing with me. But that's okay. What a fun race we have here. Glove and Sloters, is there anything you both may want to contribute here to the topic of mental health? The floor is yours, of course, and I know we get a race going on. I wanted to open it up to both of you as well. No pressure if you don't.
I mean, I'll just say mental health is huge. definitely take care of it. It's just as important as physical health or any other aspect of your health. And, being mentally healthy makes a big difference in your life. So take it seriously. Yeah, that's all I got to really say.
Absolutely. Back in the race, MM2 did just find Charge Beam. That's quite significant deal. Helps a lot, especially given that he was decently far behind all of the other runners on supers. As he does find the top right of West Meridia here, so now we have complete map knowledge, with Chronic Boost being the back of East Meridia. He could go for a Mama Turtle check here, but will just farm one of the crabs for health and return back to Upper Norfair. I'm not really sure where he goes from here. As meanwhile, we see all of the other runners starting their Bubble Mountain. DJ and Zeb are going to have a much faster time here. Having that Varia suit means that they don't have to farm up or worry about stuff like Crystal Flashes. Okay, yeah, this makes sense from MM2, so he is going to do Wreck Ship from the back now. Which is definitely slower than going from the front. But it is still the closest way for him to get there.
We've done it. We have passed the 500-pound mark. 51-pound donation from Glenfrog Knight, who says, rooting for Zeb. Loved watching you play Outer Wilds. Thank you to everyone who has donated so far. Let's see if we got 500. Let's get up to 600 tonight. We still have 10 plus hours of this marathon tomorrow. And this race is tightening. Glove and Sloters, finish it out.
Shoutouts to Outer Wilds for sure. Almost better than this game, but this game is the GOAT.
I still have to get around to that one. Yeah. And MM2 does have the new route beam, so he... or as well as Zeb, soon to be Derp, and DJ as well, will all have that new route beam. So at that point, you are not going out of your way for any ammo checks whatsoever. We might still see MM2 and Derp make some ammo checks because they want to gear up for that suitless Lower Norfair. Although with MM2 being here in Wreck Ship, he might still do the top anyway, knowing that there are very few places other than the top of Wreck Ship that the answer can be. From his perspective, after he finds that speed, it'll be like Mama Turtle, top of Wreck Ship, and Waterway. Maybe one or two other outstanding locations. So we'll see how he decides to handle this situation. But for Derp especially, having already been to Wreck Ship twice now, he is all but locked in to doing a suitless Lower Norfair, unless it is an absolute disaster scenario with the rest of the items. Meanwhile, Zeb is having a little bit of a trickier time here with this crab shaft, since he did not do Crocs, so he does not have high jump boots or spring ball.
Yeah, that is a very awkward crab climb. That looks like a good spot though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is one of those things where it's like, I guarantee you that Zeb has practiced this at some point. Everything that you can do in this game, Zeb has done at some point. It's just, if the last time you practiced this was, say, 2 years ago for Rando League or something like that, it's not necessarily going to be fresh in your head, and it might take a minute to knock off the D-Rust, but he does make it through.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
it's not often you want to go this direction with the loadout.
Yeah, absolutely. Presumably, I mean, Zeb could check Mama Turtle here, but it has to be high jump boots or gravity, or you can't get out. And yeah, there we see Derp checking Waterway. From his perspective, there are so few places that a suit can be. Unfortunately, he does just find a reserve tank. And we see DJ on the struggle bus as well, but makes it through a bit faster than Zeb does, so actually a bit of time gain there. As DJ and Zeb definitely are the front runners in the race currently. Although MM2 there does take care of Dragon. So he is the first runner, or no, Derp already had 2 bosses down. So MM2 is the second runner to get to 2 bosses down, albeit 2 different bosses. And a very nice grapple jump out from him. But yeah, extremely good chance at this point that Gravity is just here in Lower Norfair. It doesn't have to be. It could be in Kraid's closet. I believe none of our runners have checked that yet. Since
Well, isn't
MM2's the only
Kraid's
one who-
closet locked by East Meridia?
Yeah, so only MM2 could have checked it, and he has not gone back there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gravity could be Mama Turtle with those high jump boots. I believe, well, I'm not sure how that works with the logic. If high jump boots are, with high jump boots being at Croc here, can Dash expect you to go down to Croc not knowing if you can get back out?
I believe that is the case, yes.
Okay. So then Gravity could be at Mama Turtle. Oh, right. Kraid was at East Meridia, so Gravity cannot be in Kraid's closet.
Yeah. So it's somewhere down here. If it's at GT, that could be pretty bad. I don't know if you want to check that if you're in Zeb's position.
Yeah, probably not. And if you're in MM2 or Derp's position, you definitely don't want to check it. Although MM2 at the very least really does not care about Gravity whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Gravity at GT specifically actually potentially puts MM2 in a really nice spot. Just with some of the other decisions he's been able to make, like leaving behind Rex Ship at the very beginning of the game, leaving behind Edacoons until it was a bit more convenient to get back to. He's been able to gain time in these small ways that could potentially offset a Variolus Lower Norfair if everyone else is also doing Suitless Meridia. But that was a really nice Ridley fight there from Zeb316.
Yeah.
Especially given that fight is deceptively difficult without high jump boots. Especially with speed as well. You basically don't want to hold dash at all that fight.
Ooh, and the plasma beam, so full beam combo now.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty nice. Would have been, even nicer before Ridley, but at least he can microwave Dragon still, I guess.
Yeah, and Batoon as well. But not the huge deal that it would have been just a few checks earlier even.
Yeah.
Did you see if Zeb checked Firefleas on his way in?
I want to say he did.
That sounds right. Can be a lot of information to take in. As we also see MM2 check Kraid's closet on the way into defeating this Kraid boss here. Just an E-Tank. We knew that it couldn't be Gravity, but from MM2's eyes, it could still be Varia. Alright, Zeb saw a tank as well. Yeah, so Zeb is taking the save here. That means he is going to go check GT. And Derp, already having killed Dragon, is going to be able to do something that is specific to these settings, the underwater wall jump.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because Derp has already killed Dragon, this way that you're normally meant to exit is actually open to him. And normally you can't really get through, but if you know how to do underwater wall jumps, and you have that space jump as well, that helps a lot, then you can just underwater wall jump to get through here. It is something that I would say pretty much every high-level map rando player knows by this point, but has really only been a relevant thing in traditional rando during one tournament. Oh, as he gets it first try very quickly, but unfortunately gets cack spiked. And also, yeah, I guess Zeb was setting up the save in case he has to go back and check GT, so he's going to be checking Waterway first.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, I like this, because if Gravity is just here at Waterway, then you feel incredible. And if Grav ends up being a GT, like, you can't really be mad at this, I don't think. The only thing that would feel a little bit bad would be like if High Jump is here, maybe you even think about just running back and going through all of LN anyway.
Yeah.
And Derp is going to be farming up here. He does not know if this is going to be Ridley or Kraid yet. And he can also check the item here. It could be Grav. DJ is in a little bit of trouble on this Ridley fight. He should be okay. He has those reserves as well. And Ridley should be just about dead anyway. Unfortunately, we really haven't gotten to talk about DJ Webb quite as much this race, as he has mostly just been taking Zeb's route, but a little slower and with a couple of detours in a different order. But he's been doing really well navigating the seat as well.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, MM2 is into his hell runs. And with 8 E-Tanks, 130-15 as your ammo, and we can see he's already got that X-Factor primed. This should be... I'm not going to call it a trivial LN, because no suitless LN is trivial, but this is routine. And so I would say, even if Gravity is here at GT, which it almost has to be at this point, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that really sucks. There's nowhere good to farm sleepers anywhere near here. Yeah, just reset. Especially with that reset, even if Gravity is at GT, I think MM2 still has this.
I think, did MM2 take a hit? I feel like he should have had more health. Maybe not.
He might have.
Yeah, he did pop that reserve to save a little bit of energy. Yeah, he'll be okay to get to the door and Crystal Flash.
Yeah, not sure if he'll also have time to farm up to full supers before that. I think he should. Yeah, especially with Space Jump. Space Jump's so good. Oh, a rare missile drop actually is not what MM2 wanted to see there. And so now he has to... Okay, perfect. So he should still be able to get those 2 health drops once he finishes his Crystal Flash. And from here, he just wants to farm back up to potentially 28 supers if he wants to do the X Factor. Or he could farm up to 30 supers and then have a little bit of wiggle room there.
Yeah, unfortunately, we also know there's not an E-Tank behind Ridley, which makes this a little bit worse coming out, but assuming he has a clean fight, it should still be okay.
Yeah. It also means it's going to be really important that he does not have to pop reserves at all, because he wants to get drops from Ridley. Having to farm up 10 full supers is going to be really rough. Or
Very
8 supers,
nice.
I guess. Incredible fight, though. Like, he might not even pop reserve before he leaves Ridley room. Okay drops. 3 supers from Ridley isn't bad. I would say it's probably about average.
That plasma probably feels very bad after pumping 30 supers into Ridley that he could have used for
Right.
Crystal Flashing, but
And he might... Nah, there's no way. He probably just Crystal Flashes here in Farm Room, and then that'll be enough health for him to get out. Meanwhile, as we have been focused on this suitless lower warfare, Zeb did get that gravity suit, and so he's going to be cruising. I'm just not sure if it's really enough for him to catch up. And DJ has that grav as well, is leaving out the front.
MM2 got a power bomb drop. That was mighty convenient.
Yeah, for real. He actually has to farm up health here. And his farming is a little bit slow. So he's losing health here. Or he's not gaining it as quickly as he should.
Ironically, he has to get lucky to not get super, so he like doesn't lose too much health, but luckily he got enough health fast enough that he was able to pull off the Crystal Flash.
Yeah, it needs to get unlucky enough to get the health drops, and not so lucky as to get the rare missile drops that would have just completely ruined him there.
Also, the bombs like really matter here because otherwise, like he would not have enough power bombs to get out of here. He really just needs like the one power bomb to break these blocks up here. Also, like speed booster would have been great if he had it right now, but obviously was not able to get it out of the ship. But that could also save you some time on this part.
You don't need to get to Fireflies if you have bombs. MM2's in a really bad spot, though.
Did he left this tank here though, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
No, maybe.
I don't think he did. Yeah.
Oh no, he didn't. Yeah, okay, this is bad. He can get out, but it's gonna take a really long time to get supers back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's gonna use power bombs to farm these Funes or not. I think those are Namiheis. They might
I
be
mean,
Funes. Anyway, you can use power bombs to farm them in order to get super drops from there, but that's your best course of action. Or
honestly,
you can just keep on farming the fleas for health.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you just fill up your PBs and then just like, get 300 or 400 energy here and leave? That's probably better.
Yeah.
It's a pretty bad drop rate for the supers.
Mm-hmm. It's also really disorienting space jumping through that room when you've killed all the fire fleas and it's just completely black. But yeah, with that, I would say Zeb is definitely in the lead. Followed fairly closely behind by DJ. Actually, really closely behind by DJ. DJ's like a couple rooms behind.
Turns out Varia is a really good item. You probably want it in many instances.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Varia is better than high jump boots. Alright, so from here on out, MM2 will be getting health. But it's going to be 100 health per trip. It's really rough. And you do lose, what, like 10 every time? Yeah. So you're essentially getting 90 health. Oh, so MM2 is using a power bomb to kill that Fune as well. So he's actually essentially getting 70 health every time he does this. What you can do, although it's a little bit scarier if you don't have Ice Beam or MM2 has Ice Beam, he just has it turned off. You can actually, it's slower, but you can freeze the Fune and then do a bomb jump over it. I guess MM2 has just decided it would be faster to power bomb, which I guess is paying for itself as long as it drops a big health.
Yeah, that's...
But if it drops a missile, you feel bad. And Zeb is the first runner to have all of the bosses down. So from here, it's just a quick little jaunt over to Turian. Which will be like go to Business Center, then West Meridia goes to Redbrand, goes to Turian, I think is the best path. It's a rough map. Meanwhile, Derp, who decided to just hard commit to getting Varia, is finally back here at the top of ship. Decided that with Ridley there, his loadout wasn't quite nice enough to do Varialess Lower Norfair, and lost quite a bit of time compared to MM2 for it. As MM2, who was actually the first one to have all the bosses down. Wait, no, yeah, MM2's still in the lead. So he just gets Turian faster here. So even with that mishap in Firefleas, his route is going to pay big dividends. And I think between all the runners, we can sort of see this idea that playing aggressive is really good if you are willing to do the super scary stuff to back it up. Stuff like that Variolus Lower Norfair. Unfortunately for Derp, everything worked out just so perfectly that he did not have a Variolus Lower Norfair he felt comfortable doing, and so he has kind of fell to the back of the pack by a pretty decent margin. Whereas MM2 being willing to make that really aggressive play, and I hope he remembers he has ice here. He does. Very nice. Gets the elevator pause too. DJ and Zeb played a bit more conservatively, and they were able to avoid the disaster scenario that Derp was presented with, but weren't able to have quite as fast a route as if they had been able to do what MM2 did. And yeah, we see Zeb here entering West Meridia from the top right. Is going to go to the bottom left, which puts you at the middle of Red Bryn, and then the very top of Red Bryn is Turian. MM2 had to modify his Metroid rooms a little bit, mainly just the first one, for the fact that he didn't have Grav, but got through them really nicely. Also, the fact that he didn't have speed changed them a little bit, so maybe not quite as clean of Metroid rooms as if he were like on an any percent loadout, but especially in a rando, if you can consistently only lose 1 second in the really scary rooms compared to what you do in any percent, that is not bad at all. As MM2 sets up for a baby skip here, he is one of the last boomer skip holdouts.
That's my boy.
A lot of people prefer the newer method that was discovered a couple years ago, known as the Stachio skip, where you essentially jump around the baby where it is going clockwise instead of counterclockwise. And Derp defeats his Ridley quite quickly, having essentially every item in the game now. Is gonna miss out on that plasma beam because he, as previously mentioned, has essentially every item in the game. The only item that could have sped him up at all was plasma beam.
Yeah, that's an understandable skip. Like when it's your last boss and there's really not much left game to play.
It's honestly borderline if it even would save him time.
Yeah.
And Zeb is through all of his Metroid rooms as DJ is entering Turian. So we have a pretty codified first, second, third, and fourth at this point, but really well run by all of our runners.
Yeah, I think this seed, really exemplified some of the cool variants you get with like shuffled versus shifted. I do miss shuffled a lot. I kind of forgot like how different some of those like dynamics change. It's been a while since I played one of these.
It is just the best settings for traditional rando, in my opinion, and I think the opinions of nearly everyone who plays traditional rando. So it was really cool to see it for this showcase. And MM2 is going to go for stand-up here. It's a little bit scarier when you don't have any suits. With 259 health, he can still take a hit from Mother Brain and be okay, even if he gets too close to her. But yeah, we saw Zeb and DJ there, both cannot do, right, DJ did go back and do Croc, so he can actually do Baby Skip. Which is a way that he can gain some time. Misses it up right at the end, unfortunately. It's not going to be a deal breaker in this race. He still would have been behind Zeb, but that is the worst way to miss it right at the end. That's where you lose the most time. But yeah, as all of our runners are going through their end game, MM2 is fighting Mother Brain 3, Zeb on Mother Brain 1, DJ about to start his Mother Brain 1, and Derp running to Turian. Be sure to go follow all 4 of these runners. Go follow MM2, go follow Derp, go follow DJ Webb, go follow Zeb316. They're 4 of the most skilled traditional rando players out there. And so it's been really cool to see this showcase and see all of the different ways, even as you get to that top level of runner, you get a lot of divergence in the way that people handle seeds. And MM2 is on to the escape here. His escape will be a little bit slower because he never picked up that speed booster. Although space jump and screw attack can make certain parts of it, as well as high jump boots, pretty much everything but speed, make it quite different from low ice. In that you can see MM2 is just shredding Leodox from here, even without the speed booster, and his wall jumps up the climb are going to be much faster. Yeah, really clean wall jumps. You can just truly appreciate the keyboardness of or the skill level of MM2's play there. MM2 is an extremely skilled vanilla runner, though. Has a low 43. I would say has the best vanilla and probably rando movement of these 4 runners, and that has really been demonstrated in this showcase today. As MM2 NES cartridge finishes in first place with an official race time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 26 seconds.
GG. That was a heck of a run.
Absolutely. You really love to see a player get rewarded for skipping both suits.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't happen that often. So very cool to see.
Absolutely. It definitely happens more often in shuffled compared to shifted, just because you do have more of those outlier locations. But regardless, it's still, especially seeing both suits get skipped in the same race, is quite rare. Zeb is on his Mother Brain 3 right now. Neither DJ nor Zeb actually ever got enough E-tanks in order to be able to do stand-up. So that was not even an option available to them.
Zeb getting to spark up the climb with the speed booster. He'll be finishing up pretty shortly. Little awkward, with no high jump, but that was pretty good.
Absolutely. And Zeb does finish this race in second place with an official race time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 54 seconds. GG.
GG.
Up next is DJ making his way through Leodoc's room right now, having a bit of an easier time there with those high jump boots. And now DJ finishes in third place with an official race time of 1 hour, 13 minutes, 47 seconds. GG to DJ as well. Pretty cool to see, each runner just within a couple minutes of each other. Zeb finished essentially 2.5 minutes behind MM2, and then DJ finished a little less than a minute behind Zeb, and Derp will be a little bit slower to the punch, but really just due to sort of the unfortunate way his routing worked out. Certainly all of these runners are capable of winning one of these races on any given day.
And I think we're going to get all, or at least most of the runners in here to chat a little bit about the seed and get their thoughts on it.
And we are joined now by all 4 of our runners from today's race. GG's to all of you.
Yo.
Thank you.
I love not having to
talk
speak.
too
It's
much.
my favorite part.
I just want to say I almost completely destroyed the seed. If I had had a little bit more health coming out of wreck ship the second time I did it after getting Very, I would have high jump with scrap, lava dived and got gravity suit right away.
Yeah, I wish I could high
How
jump
much- how much health did
on
you-
the seed. I
How much
really
health
wish I
did you have
could.
there? Zeb,
What?
how much health did you have?
I was at like 400, but I didn't have a save either, so I was a little
What?
scared.
400 is baby energy. Come on, man. Hit the trick first try or forfeit the race. You gotta have that spirit.
We're trying to put on a show for charity.
I mean, 400
Listen.
is enough to get a second try.
400 enough to get it like third try. Randomizer is like stupid buff.
I don't think that that's the case in this. Maybe it is in this.
It is in
No, it
area
is.
specifically.
No, it's
It is
it's
an
still
area?
very
Okay.
it's still very buff.
Okay, then I probably should have gone for it actually.
Yeah. Even without Rando Varia buff, you could have gotten it second try, probably. But also, if you're not getting it first try, are you even trying? Like, okay, no, the door isn't aligned, so it's a little harder. But like, it's really not that hard. I was actually practicing it in room before the race, and then I
really
did
love-
the suit. So
I love how that's the thing that makes you makes a distinction. Oh, the door is not aligned. That totally makes a difference, which it does.
it does
It
make
does.
a difference.
What do you mean?
Come on, man. It's like kind of hard, but still, like you get a solid 2 tries with Rando Varia. So
Where was Gravity, by the way? I haven't seen it. yet.
Gravity was at GT.
Oh, nice.
yeah,
I mean, I guess I could have figured with the context.
Yeah, because I didn't ever get the high jump boost, I had to get that, and it was my last vocation outside of Croc. Maybe if Croc was in Logic, and I got lucky. But and I missed the green gate glitch too, so I reverse lava dive, or reverse acid dived to get over there, and failed the green gate glitch, and then had to reset my save and do it again.
how much time?
I
did that
farmed
lose?
for quite a while to actually get enough.
I don't know how
to feel
much time that lost. I should have been thinking about my ammo though during the Ridley fight.
Okay.
I should have
Yeah, fair.
definitely because I actually went back out the back of Floor Norfair to go to Waterway before going to Screw Attack 2.
Oh dang! You should have won then.
It was tough. I was thinking about maybe checking Waterway before going into War Warfare 2. Maybe I should have. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, but failing gate glitch does suck. I did have to farm Firefly for. I should have farmed less than I did, but I was being a coward because I didn't have a save since pre-Ridley. But I was like on 150 entering plus 100 in reserve, and like I think I probably could have made it if I had popped off. But like if I take any damage at all, I die. So I was like, I just would rather finish the race. So
Mhm.
I just want to know if I was the first one to find Varia. I feel like the answer is probably yes.
I think I might have been, but it was probably between us.
Let me tell you,
DJ
I was
was
not.
slightly after Zeb, I want to say.
Dang it.
Yeah, it was like 15, 20 seconds difference, if that.
Oh dang.
Cool. Yeah,
With-
we were talking earlier. I think I I think I'm supposed to try to skip high jump there, but I don't know. It could just be gravity, and especially if it's second item, then I actually feel good. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Aside from that high jump, DJ and Zeb took very similar routes throughout the whole seed. MM2 and Derp were fairly similar, except MM2 did some stuff different, like not checking that wreck ship early, and then Derp ended up hard committing to that Varia. But
Yeah. My solution was after I had killed the third boss, which was Kraid's Lair boss for me. I was like, well, either I'm losing multiple minutes checking stuff so that I can do LN, or I just send LN right now. So, and I know which one will feel better for me, so I just sent LN. Because I was like, it's 7+1, and I have a reasonable beam and a reasonable number of supers, and 1 CF, but I have morph bombs and grapple and screw. So like, it's fine, surely.
I actually was kind of pushed to do what I did because I misrouted. I had swapped Aqueduct and pre-Aqueduct in my head, so I just went up the business center elevator to nowhere. So I was like, well, what I was planning on doing was getting the tank at Mama Turtle that I had reset earlier and entering LN at like, I think I had 10+2. But then when I did that, it was like, well, now I'm just closer to front of ship. I guess I'm just checking the top now for my Varia. So I knew it had to be a suit. It could have been gravity and then like spring ball is Varia, but I just didn't believe in that being real.
Yeah. Also, update, if I had just sent the LN escape without farming at all, I would have made it with 8 health remaining. I mean, I executed the exact same under the pressure of my health dying.
7
So
more
no.
than you needed.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So that
I
was
had a
easy.
whole, like, what, 20 frames to spare? Easy. Just don't mess
Yeah.
up.
I was
Just
curious.
don't mess
So, are we saying that Croc was in logic without a way out logically?
Yes.
I-
It's extra
yeah,
logic.
I think it is.
Yeah, because
So-
gravity's been there before. In
Yeah.
past races.
I mean, if you had high jump beforehand, then you can get out. But without high jump, like it makes sense that gravity could be there if you had high jump. But I thought that you had to have a way out, kind of like with Mama Turtle, how they changed that a couple of years ago, I think.
I think it's because it's Portal, like a totally different Portal. I think that's why it's still like that, but I could be wrong. I'm not the dev in the chat.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was really confused during the seed. I had thought that Kraid was in logic instead, that the 2 break was in logic getting up that way.
And honestly, that one probably should be, but I don't know. We're not there yet, I guess. I kind of like it sometimes, honestly, but like this is a seed where you maybe kind of don't, especially if you're confused about the Croc thing. But yeah.
Yeah, I gotta run to work, by the way, so
Goodbye forever.
Thanks for
Damn
bye forever.
Good luck
GGs,
tomorrow.
have fun at work.
Yeah, well, hopefully for a better show against Farflu tomorrow. Smile.
Hey, got all the shambles out here. You're all good.
Yeah, hopefully I don't get a seed like this either. Okay, bye.
But yeah, it was definitely an interesting seed. I was playing through. Well, number one, I played horrendously, badly, terribly, awful, dumb at the beginning because I messed up my stream and was trying to fix that. So I literally I skipped 2:30 on the way up and went back down for it. And I also had to reset the E-tank room to get bombs. It was bad.
That's hype.
Yeah, and then the seed was clown, so I was like, I find speed at workshop 18, and I'm like, I might as well just keep clowning. And then I see like vanilla reserve, and I laugh, and then I get very, and I was like, okay, like thanks seed.
Yeah, I was thinking that the answer had to be down the portal, the meme route portal. when I was going into wreck ship, and I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this wreck ship. I can't kill Dragon. But I was thinking I was pretty likely to find one more power bomb, and then I can kill Dragon and not have to come back. But it felt pretty bad not to get that power bomb. At least like getting Barry out of it was like, okay, like I got a suit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly, I feel like the routing at the end of it like didn't really punish not killing Drake on there, but I could be convinced otherwise.
For me, I think it did, but
Because I mean, like, got gravity, exit, and then you're right there. So it was like, okay.
yeah. I just didn't want to have to go all the way through wreck ship, I don't think. But maybe there wasn't a great way otherwise.
I felt like going all the way through. Well, I mean, I felt like going all the way through Wreck Ship was also fine to get to East Meridia. At least that's the way I took. Because up North Air kind of was really isolated.
That's what I did too.
Yeah.
I think the other path would be to get to like Meridia through probably the middle of Red Tower.
Mm-hmm. It was a funky seed. I want to see how MM2 played this. It seems like it was fun.
I did do a lot of fun things, but did I feel like I was losing the entire time? Yes.
I also felt like I was losing the entire time
because I was like, well, I just never checked anything in wreck ship, but like, I was just like, dang, if gravity in a reasonable place, I lose by 10 minutes. And it's just not even funny.
There were good items in wreck ship, but not doing all of it, and also probably not double dipping it / 2.5 dipping it, depending on if you went to the boss right away. I only did the boss check because I wanted to do spooky. Otherwise, I think I just leave.
Yep, that was the same reason that I did it. I wanted a power bomb. It was a really late power bomb seed.
Yeah.
Had like an interesting decision in Green Bryn. I actually decided to abandon the bottom portals to go back to Eddicoons, back up the elevator, and then through Moat, so that I wouldn't abandon one portal instead of abandoning two.
Yeah, I was considering doing that, but I decided I wanted to know where I was going and abandon Moat and Eddicoons later and potentially combo with Waterway. But it is what it is. Ended up finding Moat later, and then I did Eddicoons with it. But yeah, I think that's mostly what I have to say. Thanks to, of course, Glove and Sloters for comms. I'm sure y'all did excellent, and I'm looking forward to the rewatch.
Ditto that, and thanks to Adam for putting all of this on, as well as tracking. But I know this has been a fun marathon here thus far. I was peeking a few things here earlier, and obviously lots of stuff tomorrow, so good luck to everyone doing that. And if you liked what you saw here, we have the finals of our tournament this weekend.
Which, aptly enough, is between Glove and Sloters.
Yeah. So, for anybody wondering why our finish times are so slow, it's because the two best Super Metroid players are not playing in the race.
Exactly.
Eesh. All right, well, I've given everyone an opportunity throughout everything throughout this entire marathon. DJ, MM2, and Zeb, if there's anything you want to talk about related to mental health, whether it's the charity, whether it's personal stories, this is your opportunity to do so. There is no pressure to do so. I just wanted to give you all the floor to be able to do so.
I don't know. I think that it's been a great day, and that we've just had a really excellent show got put together, and yeah, I'm looking forward to day 2.
I don't think any of you would actually know me if I hadn't seen a therapist like 5 years ago, so seek help. It will be good for your life.
I don't think I really have much to add. Just, yeah.
Cool. Well, listen, you all are free to get on out of here. I'm going to finish up with the closing remarks for the day. Big shout out to MM2 Nest Cartridge, Derp, DJ and Zeb for the fantastic quad race. And Glove and Slotters, thank you both so much for doing comms. You both did a great job. And good luck to both of you, by the way, for tomorrow's grand finals of the tournament. Good luck to both of you for that.
That's actually Sunday. The semifinals are tomorrow.
Oh, was it Sunday? My bad. I thought it was tomorrow.
No, semi is.
Or sorry, not semis. The bronze medal match.
Tomorrow's bronze.
Yeah, the third place matches.
Tomorrow's bronze. Okay, tomorrow's Farfaloo versus Durp. Got it. And then Sunday is the grand final starting at 3 p.m. Eastern, so... Yeah. And speaking of the bronze tomorrow, that's on Speed Gaming 2 over at 7:05 p.m. Eastern start time. So thank you all so much. You're feel free to drop. I'm going to take care of closing remarks here. Folks, thank you all so much for tuning in to the first part of Metroids for Charity. This has been a wonderful way to kick things off. You're not going to want to miss tomorrow. Today we had, 6-7 hours of Metroid fun? Tomorrow, we're going to have about 9 to 10 hours of Metroid fun. We kick tomorrow. For those of you that are still watching, we're not going to switch to a different scene. This is just my closing remarks for the day. The schedule for tomorrow is as follows. We're going to kick the day off with my introductions, and as I told you earlier during opening ceremonies, that is going to be, you're going to hear a little bit about myself and my story regarding mental health. You're going to hear a little bit more about me again around that topic, why this came about, just like you heard in the opening ceremonies, and I'm going to go over again some of the amazing tools and resources that Safe in Our World has to offer. We're going to start things off at 12:10 p.m. Eastern with some Metroid Prime action. We had a lot of Super Metroid today. Don't worry, we're going to have plenty of Super Metroid tomorrow. But we're going to have what we call the Cross Game Cup, the CGC randomizer race. This is going to be a race between Baja and the Ginger Chris versus Bruh and Cestrion. Nye and Jay will be your commentators. Trackers are going to be taken care of from the racer streams. We're going to then go to a little bit of a break as we set up for the next part of the marathon, where we teased it earlier. We are going to show off the brand new Metroid Fusion randomizer from Randovania. And that is going to be run by Hercules Bench Press. And Jeff Gaines and Games and Herc are going to take care of your commentating. I will be tracking. And then we're going to take a short break in between the Fusion race. And then as we get ready for the next race, which is going to be Bash Prime. Yes, we have the Bash Prime, who is going to be doing a Metroid Prime 2 Echoes randomizer. Baja Blood and Bash Prime are going to be taking care of your comms on that one. That's at 5 p.m. Eastern. At 7:40 p.m. Eastern, Bastion Blue, I don't want to butcher this. Make sure I have their name right. Succubus will be taking on Super Metroid Any Percent KPDR out. That's going to be at 7:40 p.m. Eastern. Bastion and I get you covered on comms for that. And then we end the marathon with my favorite randomizer. The randomizer that has really started taking the Super Metroid world by storm. Super Metroid Map Rando Quad Race. Oats and Goats versus Nitro versus Aussie versus Spiffy Thomas. You are not going to want to miss Metroids for Charity tomorrow. We end today $514.72, euros, whatever you want to call it, raised for Safe in Our World. I have a lofty goal of 10,000. I'll be very happy if we can reach that. I'll be happy if this is the number we end at for the charity marathon, but I don't think it's going to be. I think a lot of donations are going to come in for tomorrow. Donations will be open until 11 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night. And with that being said, big shout out to Jam from Speed Gaming, who has done an amazing job behind the scenes, making things work, doing all the cropping and setup so I can focus on other things. And of course, a shout out to Dark Moon, who did all of our amazing overlays and background. Again, as you can see, we got the baby Metroid popping out of its container right into Talon 4 landing site. So again, real quick, because I love audience participation, as you all know. I want to see some reactions from all of you in the Twitch chat. Who's had a good time so far on the marathon? Let's see those thumbs up in the Twitch chat. We want to hear from all of you if you've been enjoying the marathon so far. And if you have, and if you just tuned in a little late, that's okay. Today we had the Super Metroid Vario Randomizer showcased with the SM rat settings, done by Anthony and Sunwoo Farmer to kick off this marathon. We then had the Metroid Prime 1 Any%, raced by Sam with Reggie on comms. Sinneth and I had John comms for the SM rat race with Reem on tracking. Thunder and Dark Spy had you on comms for Flash Frost Metroid Fusion 100% run. And of course, y'all just watched the quad race between MM2 NES cartridge, Derp, DJ, and Zeb. That's gonna do it for Metroids for Charity for tonight. I'm WXFan21 saying we'll see you next mission. And I'll see you all 11:45 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning. Have a great night, everybody.